In 1911, in the middle of a busy city, something happened that people watched, but could not stop. A fire broke out. But this wasn't just a fire. It became a trap, a death sentence. And for many, there was no way out. This is the story of the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory Fire. It was a normal working day in New York City. Inside a factory building, hundreds of workers, mostly young immigrant women, were doing what they did every day. Sewing, cutting fabric, working long hours for very little pay. They worked close together. Tolos, machines lined up side by side. Scraps of cloth piled around them. The air was thick. The exits were limited. But no one thought this would be the day everything ended. Then, suddenly, it started. A small fire, somewhere among the fabric scraps. At first, it didn't seem like much. But fire doesn't stay small. Not when it's surrounded by cloth, by wood, by everything that can burn. Within minutes, the flames spread. Fast. So fast. Panic began to rise. Workers stood up from their machines. Some tried to put the fire out. Others ran for the exits. But something was wrong. One of the doors was locked. People rushed toward it, pulling, pushing, trying to open it. It didn't move. There was no escape there. The fire kept growing. Smoke filled the room. Breathing became harder. Ice burned. People screamed. Some ran to the elevators. But they could only carry a few people at a time. Trips up and down. Others ran to the windows. Fresh air was outside. Freedom was right there. But there was no way down. The building was too high, and the fire was getting closer. In those final moments, people were forced to make a choice. Stay inside, burn, or jump and fall. Some held hands. Some prayed. Some didn't even have time to think. And then, they began to fall. Men jumped down in rush. From the windows, into the streets below. People gathered outside, watching in horror. Unable to help, unable to stop it. The sound of bodies hitting the ground echoed through the city. Inside continued. It consumed everything. Machines, the fabric, the lives still trapped within. There was no escape. No rescue in time. Just heat, smoke, and silence. By the time it was over 140 people were gone. Most of them young women. Some as young as teenagers. People who had come to work. People who never went home. And when the smoke cleared, the truth began to surface. The locked doors, the unsafe conditions, the lack of protection. This wasn't just an accident. It was neglect. It was preventable. The tragedy shocked the nation. People demanded change. Laws were questioned. Workplace safety began to be taken seriously. But for those who lost their lives, change came too late. The Triangle Shirtwaist Factory Fire was more than a disaster. It was a warning. A moment where profit was placed above human life. Where safety was ignored. Until it was too late. Today, buildings are safer. Rules are stricter. But the memory remains. A reminder of what happens when people are treated as replaceable. Because in the end, they weren't just workers. They were people. With lives. With families. With futures that never got the chance to exist. This has been the Dark Ledger. Entry 003. Some stories don't fade. They burn into history. Follow and subscribe for more videos.